He needs to understand and really needs to see that if he says two-state solution, no nonsense, this is the real thing, all his other goals will be achievable. And that is a remarkable fact.
But think of the ramifications of this quote, assuming that Netanyahu said it. I think we will need to wean ourselves off American military aid. Where are they going to go? They're going to give them what the U.S. gave them.
I'll tell you where they would have to go. They would have to go to normalcy, to diplomacy, to peace. There is no military alternative for them other than...
I've said that forever. If Israel didn't have the United States military backing, they would have to become good neighbors. So get a load of this. So a lot of people are saying Trump is crushing it right now. Trump had some hard hits with his tariffs. He had to walk those back quickly. As soon as the bond market got restless, he walked it back. And in just 1 week, just according to Libs of TikTok, in just 1 week, President Trump secured a UK trade deal. Really? A China trade deal. Sounds like it was release of the American hostage. I'll give him that. Ceasefire with India and Pakistan. Okay. And a ceasefire with Yemen. Okay. This is exactly what I voted for. Plus he also went further and he gave an olive branch to Iran recently. I'm going to cover that. And then he also took all the sanctions off Syria. Little late, but at least he did it.
A start.
I mean, that's all very good, but I say, where are the arrests that we were promised?
Very good question, Jimmy.
Where are the arrests of all the people who did the Fedsurrection? Remember that? We're going to arrest those people. All the people who did Russiagate, we're going to arrest those people.
All the people covered up for Epstein, the people who covered up for take your pick of all the things, the people who got rid of the evidence at the FBI.
Yeah, how about
didn't obey the order to bring the stuff out?
Now, Kash Patel says he believes that Epstein hung himself. Did you see that?
Yeah.
He said, I should have played that. I saw a video of that the other day. He was being asked in Congress, do you think Epstein, because he goes, yeah, I think he committed suicide. I'm like, oh, these guys, huh?
They got their heads straight.
Yeah. It's like the guys at it's like Marty McCurry, who was outspoken against the COVID stuff, saying, I don't know if a healthy 12-year-old girl should take a booster or not. I can't answer that. So here is a video put together by a MAGA booster. Now, the reason I want to show you this is to show you how someone who's really down for Donald Trump sees things. And then I'm going to show you how someone who's not down for Donald Trump sees things. And you see if they're how much different they are. So let's watch.
I don't know if you noticed, but in one weekend, this past weekend, Trump has reshaped the world. While the media was silent, Trump was making history. For starters, he brokered a ceasefire between India and Pakistan, brokered an in-person meeting between Ukraine and Russia. Then he announced the long-awaited trade agreement between the US and China. He signed an executive order to slash prices on prescription drugs by up to 80%. Trump's envoy confirmed that Hamas agreed to release the last known American hostage in Gaza. He signed an executive order for a self-deportation program to allow illegal immigrants free flights and financial incentives to get out of our country. And finally, he signed another executive order establishing the National Center for Warrior Independence, aiming to house up to 6,000 homeless veterans by 2028. I don't know about you, but this is what I voted for. We voted for the man that is right for this job. During a weekend, 3 days is what it took for Trump to accomplish 7 major things that'll reshape this world. During Biden's whole presidency, he couldn't even accomplish one of these things. I'm blown away. We still have 3.5 more years.
Okay, so that's how if the hardcore Trump supporter sees his last weekend. But then, so I'm like, yeah, it's a little over the top. So then I'm watching Judge Napolitano. And Carrie Burgess tweeted this video out. It says, holy crap on a cracker. This is huge. If the judge and Professor Sachs are talking about it, it's happening. Well, let's just watch what he says, and then I'll give you my... Here, watch this. So, you know Jeffrey Sachs, no fan of Donald Trump. Here's what he said. And neither is Judge Napolitano.
President Trump is going to call for a state of Palestine as a UN member state. That's the breakthrough.
Now, this was just released a few minutes ago, Professor Sachs, from a closed session of the Knesset Foreign Affairs and Defense Committee. You're probably familiar with their committee structure. Prime Minister Netanyahu, quote, this is stated in Hebrew, but we used AI to translate it. I think we will need to wean ourselves off American military aid, close quote. If he said that, what does that tell you, Professor Sachs?
Whoa.
No, he'll be very upset.
Here we go.
Well, that would indicate that he recognizes that the U.S. is going to pursue a different foreign policy, not to support his wars. This would be wonderful news.
I didn't hear about that. I didn't hear about BB saying that. I didn't hear. So this is the first I'm hearing about it. This is Judge Napolitano and Jeffrey Sachs saying that seems like BB is recognizing that Trump and the United States they're not going to go to war with Iran. Doesn't sound like they want to. They've already stopped bombing the Houthis in Yemen. Okay, let's see.
Might suggest that he has the advance notice that President Trump is going to call for a state of Palestine as a UN member state. That's the breakthrough that we need above all. If it happens, and if this quote suggests that, of course, we're reading a lot into it, but if it suggests that, that is phenomenal news. It's interesting, by the way, we should understand how many foreign policy initiatives President Trump is engaged in just this moment that look positive right now. And this is astounding. First is Ukraine. I think he is maneuvering to get that war ended, and he's doing it very successfully. With the U.S.-China today, the agreement to roll back the tariffs that went to the stratosphere a few weeks ago, this is very good news. With the president intervening in the India-Pakistan battle of the last few days to bring together a ceasefire, with the president overriding Waltz, apparently, and certainly Netanyahu to say, no, we're not going to have wars with Iran. All of these are peace-seeking initiatives. It's amazing. And if it's true, President Trump will make history. It's very close. He needs to understand and really needs to see that if he says two-state solution, no nonsense, this is the real thing, all his other goals will be achievable. And that is a remarkable, remarkable fact.
But think of the ramifications of this quote, assuming that Netanyahu said it. I think we will need to wean ourselves off American military aid. Where are they going to go? They're going to give them what the U.S. gave them.
I'll tell you where they would have to go. They would have to go to normalcy, to diplomacy, to peace. There is no military alternative for them other than...
I've said that forever. If Israel didn't have the United States military backing, they would have to become good neighbors. They'd have to stop with the Greater Israel Project. They'd have to stop treating the Palestinians and keeping them in a concentration camp, which is what that is. And now it's they just wiped it out. It's not even a concentration camp anymore. I've said this, and so that's what he's saying. He's saying, well, looks like they're going to have to become good neighbors. Well, we'll see. Hang on.
The U.S., and if President Trump finally stops the U.S. backing of these military adventures, they have no other place to go. What they will have to do is wean themselves off of a 30-year addiction to war. They have to go to real diplomacy with the Arab neighbors, real diplomacy with Palestine. But most importantly, and I think this is the key point, President Trump can bring about peace by recognizing the state of Palestine.
Right.
Because that will bring the entire Arab world, which has repeatedly said that's the precondition for normalcy, it will bring the 57 countries of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation all to say, yes, this is what we have been saying for decades. This is finally coming to reality.
It would bring about a collapse of the Netanyahu government.
Yes.
Most likely. But, you know, in this world, it's so important to understand the world cannot be organized for the survival of a particular incumbent, especially one that has made egregious errors, if you want to be,
charitable.
I don't know, very charitable about it, or egregious crimes, if you want to take a different approach. The world cannot be organized for the sake of a few individuals. It can't be organized for the sake of Netanyahu. It can't be organized for the sake of Zelensky. Yes, it should be organized for the sake of the Ukrainian people, for the sake of the people of Israel, for the sake of the people of Palestine, but not for a particular government. And if the government is extreme, if the government is pursuing an agenda of war when war absolutely makes no sense for their population, nor for the United States.
So there's Jeffrey Sachs. Not that different from what I heard from the hardcore MAGA guy. That's kind of surprising to me.
This globalism falling apart. I mean, that's what that is.
I hope so.
That's it. Well, it doesn't mean that it's going to be all of a sudden good. What it means is that specific brand of authoritarian, tyrannical entity, which that was Reagan, Bush, Clinton, Obama. They are all part of it. The reason, see, this is what's so upsetting to me is, oh, he's just saying this stuff now, and it's that simple. So we could have had done this.
Yeah.
But why didn't we? Because the psychopaths that ran that New World Order mafia, their term, I didn't make it up, Alex Jones didn't make it up, that's their term, the New World Order. And what was the idea? We're going to have control the world. Like evil James Bond villain shit. And everybody just act like it was fine to say that. And it wasn't. It was crazy. It shouldn't sound crazy that Trump said we should mind our own goddamn business.
So one cannot be certain that the President of the United States will recognize Palestine. This is from the Black Opinion. If, though, this is being discussed, then I suggest that Donald Trump starts wearing Kevlar along with those tasked with protecting him. The political attack on Trump will come from within his own administration. Mike Huckabee, who is the current U.S. ambassador to Israel, will definitely resign and turn on him. AIPAC will turn their paid lackeys in both the House and the Senate onto the president. Trump should retaliate by labeling AIPAC a foreign agent. If Trump is physically attacked, I can almost certainly assure you that the assailants will not be from Iran.
We all know that. Also, Mike Huckabee, I think Huckabee's a punk at the end of the day that wouldn't turn on him. This is such a monumental thing if it's, again, if true.
If true. Now, again,
because Trump says a lot of great shit.
Yeah.
And we'll see if it happens.
We'll see.
Is my feeling.
But he has done, I mean, he did do the trade deal with China. He is, according to Jeffrey Sachs, close to getting the Ukraine war, which is why I got to get my special out fast. And before that becomes old news. And what else did he do? India, Pakistan, the Yemen, and the Houthis. So
far he's been better than Biden, but I thought the whole thing was we're going to drop all the bullshit lies and crap. So maybe that's coming still. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not encouraged on that front because if we stay in this lie structure, it's never going to be fixed no matter what he does.
So here is this, Lisbeth says, I call BS. This is meaningless when Israel is on the verge of annexing the West Bank and occupying Gaza. Is Trump and his administration going to pressure them to stop, dismantle the settlements, and withdraw from Palestinian land? Not seeing it. An arms embargo and sanctions are what's needed. I agree with that.
Stop helping them.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's all we have to do. We don't have to sanction them. We just have to stop giving them money and arms. Guy says, if true, these demons will first orchestrate a mass killing like 9/11 again, or failing that, they will orchestrate another false flag like they did on October 7th when Hamas was let in. I agree that they're not going to go down easy. They're going to do false flags on American military installations in the Middle East like crazy. If not, do one here in the United States, because they've done it before. Holy crap, indeed, if this happens, Trump deserves multiple Nobel Peace Prizes as long as he's not going to F it up elsewhere. Well, if the history is any guide, every Nobel Prize winner F's it up somewhere else.
Yeah, you can't even win one unless you did that.
Yeah.
Look, bottom line, if Trump makes a peace with Iran, a separate peace without Israel involved, and peace with the Houthis without Israel involved, how can you do a false flag at that point? Because we have peace deals with these people without Israel involved. So the only suspect in that case would, in fact, be Israel.
They'll figure out a way, believe me. They'll blame it on ISIS and say that ISIS, or they'll blame it on the Houthis and say they're backed by Iran. This is Iran's doing. That's how they've been doing it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was lame last time. It was like...
Mm-hmm. Well, it's an understatement to say that the American public can be manipulated easily to hate Muslims, Arabs, and anybody that... Even Russians, right? Anybody that the war machine wants them to be manipulated into hating, they can do it.
Well, all the resentment at the Muslims, was all the like, oh, you can't draw their guy, and they think that they can put their religious rules on you, and blah blah blah. And then it turned out wokies had even more rules. They didn't go, just don't draw us. They had, you have to die in the street of starvation if you offend me in the slightest way or give any pushback to any nonsense thing that comes on my dumb head. So they were way worse than anything. And I remember going, boy, we owe all them Arabs. This is before all this. We owe them an apology because all they said was don't draw our guy. There's 20 more rules that we have that they don't have.
Right, like dead naming.
You shut up with that.
Oh,
Dude, I don't even know how people think they're still going to pull off I'm mad you said that's gone. That's one thing that's gone.
so that's, I like to show that was Jeffrey Sachs's take. Dave DeCamp tweets out, according to my count, the new Trump administration has launched at least 24 airstrikes in Somalia. So, U.S. launches airstrike in Somalia, says it's targeted at al-Shabaab. The attack marks the 5th U.S. airstrike in Somalia this month. So, there you go.
Do you remember, Jimmy, since we started helping Africa fight Islamic terror, the numbers on how much it went up since we started helping?
Yes, that's right.
What was it, 30,000%?
Yes.
Something that sounds made up. It was like 30, I swear to God.
So again, as with all things, with Trump, it's a mixed bag. Okay, good work, Dave DeCamp. Hey, Jimmy Dore here, and yep, this is an ad, but before you tune out, ask yourself, why is China now dumping U.S. bonds, grabbing prime American farmland, and rolling out its new digital currency? Look, I hate doom talk as much as you do, but it's pretty clear China is plotting a financial Pearl Harbor that can pull the plug on the dollar and devastate your IRA and 401k savings. But President Trump just pulled a genius move because he's letting retirement savers like you protect your life savings with gold, 100% tax-free. The one inflation-proof asset that survived the fall of currencies. And when you call the trustworthy experts at Colonial Metals Group, 888-910-1419, or visit colonialmetalsgroup.com/Jimmy-Dore-show, you'll receive your free 2025 gold guide on how to bulletproof your wealth with gold. Hey, gold is at an all-time high. Plus, you can receive $7,500 in free silver. That's colonialmetalsgroup.com/Jimmy-Dore-show or call 888-910-1419. Come see us live in Los Angeles, Buffalo, Toledo, Montreal, Ottawa, Glasgow, Manchester, Belfast, Dublin, London, Liverpool, Birmingham. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.